I'm going to do my best to stick to the title of this video, because personally I think that the extended editions are better than the theatrical editions of the movies. But I'm going to try and do this from a first-time viewer perspective, recommendation sort of thing. Fellowship of the Ring. I would vote extended edition for Fellowship of the Ring for a first-time viewer. Out of all the movies, extended or theatrical, extended edition Fellowship is the most cohesive and wonderful. It's the best one. You get a full breath of air before diving into the remaining two films. Yes, there's a lot more info thrown at the viewer in the extended edition, but it's done in a consumable way. And out of the three films, I've personally never met anyone that says that Fellowship feels long in the extended edition. It's always, wait, it's over? That's the end? There's no more? That's always the reaction. But my two biggest reasons for watching extended edition Fellowship over the theatrical is that the Hobbit Shire introduction scene is way better in the extended edition, and there's more Boromir scenes. In the theatrical version of Fellowship, you don't get Ian Holm's amazing performance as Bilbo introducing hobbits and the Shire. I do like the bit from the theatrical of Gandalf talking about the hobbits, but the warmth and welcoming nature of Bilbo's eclipses it by a lot. Also, if you don't do the extended edition of Fellowship, Bilbo and Frodo only have the quick watch out for the dragon bit together before Rivendell. If you watch the theatrical, it's that, and then in Rivendell, when you finally get to see them interact. You really need that extra scene where they hide from the Sackville Bagginses, and we get to see more of their relationship. Number 2, more Boromir scenes. The scene of Boromir talking to Frodo on the Flet and Lothlorien, great little scene showing you Boromir's outlook on the world. And the other, more important one to me, is the scene on the river between Boromir and Aragorn. You get to see more of their relationship, their ways of viewing the world, and the things that drive them, as well as seeing how the ring is affecting Boromir. What is it pulling at in him to make him act this way? Those are the two main reasons. Really, I only need one reason, and it's the Ian Holm introduction. Everything after that is bonus. But the Ian Holm introduction to Hobbiton in the Shire is one of the greatest parts of any of the films, and to skip that is just wrong. Another kind of minor thing is the gift-giving scene in the extended edition. In the other films, they use those items, even in the theatrical versions. So if you know someone who latches on to details, and you're going to show them the movies, maybe watch the extended edition so that when you watch the other two films, they're not like, wait, where'd they get that thing? Hey, where'd that come from? The Two Towers. This one is hard. There are a lot of great scenes in the extended edition. I'd personally pick to keep all of them, but I'm not sure they're needed for a first-time viewer. My favorite extended scene in the Two Towers is the Boromir-Faramir flashback. But that's because I love Boromir. But it's not necessarily needed. The two scenes I think should have been kept in the theatrical version of the film are Aragorn letting Brago go free and the infamous stew scene. But not for the reason you think. Or maybe it is. I don't know what's going on in your head. And I don't think I want to. The Aragorn and Brago scene is important because later, all of a sudden, a horse shows up out of nowhere and saves Aragorn by the side of the river. You might be able to imply that Arwen had something to do with it using quote-unquote magic, but it still feels out of place. It makes a lot more sense when you see Aragorn set the horse free and you're like, oh, it's that same horse that he helped out earlier. Cool. The stew scene. Yeah, it's a kind of funny scene, and it's a meme now. It's an unstoppable, uncontrollable meme. But the important bit of this scene is it lets the viewer in on how old Aragorn is. He goes from being a really skilled guy in his prime with a bunch of experience to He's all those things, and he's 87. It totally changes the way you view his skills and abilities. You're like, oh, this isn't a dude who's been doing this for like 15, 20, 25, 30 years. It's, oh, he's been doing this for a long time. So those are the two scenes I would have liked to be kept in the theatrical cut. In any case, as much as I love the extended edition of The Two Towers, I think you can safely watch The Two Towers as the theatrical for a first-time viewer, if you're wanting to save on time. I'm always going to love the extended edition more, because you also get Theodred's funeral, more stuff with the Ents, the Boromir and Faramir scene. There's just a lot of good stuff. The Return of the King. Another hard one, but for a different reason. With The Two Towers, it's hard because I really like the extended edition, but the movie still works well without the extended scenes. Return of the King is hard because there are some scenes that I wish had stayed out of the extended edition, and some that should be altered, and some that should have just stayed in the theatrical edition. I'm going to start with the stayed out. Leaving off with Aragorn and the ghosts on a cliffhanger is way better than the we fight clip and the attack on the ships scene. It's way more exciting if you don't know what the answer was. You don't know what's going to happen. I personally would like the cliffhanger to be the cliffhanger in the theatrical to be when Aragorn is looking at the ships in despair after the ghosts kind of just disappear, instead of the what say you, but the what say you still works. The other one that should have stayed out is Gandalf versus the Witch King. It's really dumb. An undead mortal isn't beating an angel. Just leave it out. Altered. Aragorn and Sauron talking via the Palantir is a great scene, but also left a lot of people confused, me included, on the whole pendant shattering thing. Is it a dream? Is it not a dream? Why is it shattering? I don't know. The other one that should have been altered, the Mouth of Sauron. Great scene. Having Aragorn kill him is really stupid. Otherwise, it's a wonderful scene, a great scene. But it's really stupid, especially when in the books, it specifically brings it up as being wrong. Now moving on to kept scenes. Saruman's death. Keep this scene, not just because he dies, but because there are great moments of dialogue, and it goes to show how Gandalf is not the same wizard he was before. It just increases that understanding of, oh, Gandalf is different now. Another one that should have been kept in the theatrical. Éomer finding Éowyn. I'd forgotten this wasn't in the theatrical version, and it shocked me when I was double-checking things, because that moment has been burned into my mind, my soul. It is a fantastic acting moment from Karl Urban. It's perfect. There are a lot of other amazing scenes, but those are the main ones I wanted to cover. That said, the theatrical cut might be better because some moments will hit harder without the extended scenes. On the other hand, the extended edition might be better because it wraps up a lot of storylines and questions better. Or you could watch a hybrid of them both. Watch the first half of the extended edition and then pick up with the theatrical, or watch the first half of the theatrical and pick up with the second half of the extended edition. There are too many variables with Return of the King for me to pick a definitive one for a first-time viewer. The ending of the story is your choice. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me, whether it's on the aforementioned movies and scenes, or if waffles are better than pancakes. It's waffles. Waffles are way better.